The Ohio Field Leader Roadshow has made its way up to Putnam County today. We are at Siebineck Farms, and I'm visiting with Mark Siebeneck. Mark, thanks for having us today. You know, one of the things we like to talk about on the Roadshow, and again, Ohio Field Leader, a project of the Ohio Soybean Council and your soybean checkoff dollars at work. We like to talk about different conservation efforts that are going on around the state, nutrient management, water quality, all those types of things. Mark, walk us around the farm, if you will, some of the different conservation practices. We've talked a little bit about cover crops, but you've got some unique, infrastructure that's been put in, or structures, water control structures, saturated buffers. Let's talk a little bit about what we'll see around the farm.
Yeah, so we have the current farm we're standing on. We have water control structures at the outlet tile before it goes into the creek. We also have a saturated buffer that the Putnam County Soil and Water District helped us with that. What that does is instead of the water going directly to the creek, we're running it through a tile, a footage of tile. And if I remember right, that footage is like 3,500 feet. We had to do some special wraps around it, again, trying to capture the nutrients before they enter the creek and the stream. That works well. We also on this farm, and about every farm we have creeks around, we have CRP ground along the creeks to keep the water in the field and the dirt from washing into the creek. So,
and then some cover crops, that almost natural cover crops, if you will, that came.
Yes, we wanted to last year with this machine behind us interseed in the corn, but we didn't get the machine built in time to do that. But from 2019, we had preventive plant acres here on the farm, and we used annual ryegrass for a cover crop, and we had some what they call dead seed in there, which just happened to pop up on us this year, which was great because we got a little test from that, and the beans look great in it, and so that was a good test for us here for what we're going to do. Obviously, every year is different weather-wise, but I think we're not going to have any issues at all with it. So yeah, we got some volunteer annual ryegrass test plots back here, but it turned out as a good study test for us.
You can be good, you can be lucky, and sometimes it takes a little bit of both. So, well, one of the things that you had mentioned is we talk about water quality and nutrient management, and after a recent heavy rain, you pulled some samples in some jars from the water control structures from the saturated buffer. Tell us a little bit about what you saw in that process.
Yeah, so this past Tuesday, June would have been 8th, I guess. We had like an inch of rain in just a short amount of time. The ground's pretty saturated to begin with, but so our water control structure ahead of the saturated buffer, the water came through so fast it was overflowing the boards. So we had some going direct to the creek and then some going through the buffer. They both worked well. When I took these samples, I left them sit overnight. There's a little discoloration to the water, but it seems more like a food coloring look to it. I thought it was dispensed soil in the jars, but it did not settle out at all. So it's like a dye in there from possibly the corn fodder trash laying on top of the ground and washed down through the soil. But no dirt at all from the control structure, and certainly not out of the saturated buffer outlet tile. No dirt at all settled out of that water and in the jars, and I was kind of amazed at that. So also took it out of another water control structure on the other end of the farm, same way. So these structures are doing something for us as far as not letting the dirt and the nutrients go to the creeks. They're holding them back in the field is what they're supposed to do.
Looking to the future then, whether it's with this interseeder machine or other goals, what would you like to see as you move forward, sort of that next step, pie in the sky?
Planting green into all the cover crops. Every year we're learning from it, but there's some guys out there doing it at a large scale organically. They're using no chemicals, very little fertilizers. So it can be done, but it's a timely thing again. We got to start a little smaller with it here. We've always planted cereal rye green with soybeans, but I want to try corn in there, and then annual ryegrass planting green into that as well. Long term, we've already reduced our fertilizer, our starter fertilizer, by 60%. But I think by using these cover crops, we keep mineralizing from the bottom up, to we can reduce our fertilizer costs even more yet.
A lot of good things going on. We are with the Ohio Field Leader Roadshow up in Putnam County, Siebineck Farms. It's a systems approach, and Mark is implementing it well.